All right, on this episode of Bouts Talking Bouts, there's a big fight going at Bellator 238. It's happening January 25th. It is the main event for the Bellator MMA Featherweight Championship. Julia Budd defending her title against Cris Cyborg. And I've got Julia on the show right now. How's your day going so far there?
My day is going great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how the preparations are going there at Gibson MMA. It seems like that's a great facility that's served you quite well over the years. Who are you working with specifically ahead of this one here?
Oh, my regular crew. I've been there for over 20 years. Lance Gibson Sr., my coach, my husband, his son Lance Gibson Jr., my main training partner Paul, Ken, Dirk, Howie, Jeevan, Eric. I've got these crew of guys that have really developed me into the mixed martial artist that I am today. So I wouldn't be here today without any of them.
Yeah, there's some great people over the years you seem to have gotten to work with. Like your first kickboxing coach came from training under Mike Miles, so it seems like there's like some great connectivity with like that BC fight scene and just martial artists knowing each other in that kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. Like my first kickboxing instructor was my husband Lance Gibson. He would come in on the weekend and take privates from him. So that's how I kind of got introduced to him in the first place. And we'd all come in from the Sunshine Coast, come out to Port Moody, train, spar, and then go back to the Sunshine Coast. And then when I moved to the city, I was able to commute out to Port Moody and train and really just, become who I am today because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm kind of wondering your thoughts heading into this fight here because presumably this fight has been on your radar probably even from the beginning of your career, just considering the lengthy time Cris Cyborg has been in the sport. How does it feel to be just like a couple weeks out from the actual night of this fight? It must be a amazing opportunity and multitude of emotions, I would think.
It is, and I'm more so just so excited that this fight is presented itself at this stage in my career when I'm at my absolute best, and yeah, I'm really really excited, and I've had an amazing training camp, and I've been getting ready for this, and I've known about her for so many years, studied her, and I'm ready to get in there and show the world who I am.
Yeah, and I was seeing some posts where it seems like you were talking about how if this fight is promoted in the right way, it could be one of the bigger fights in the history of MMA. How do you feel like the fight has been promoted? Do you feel like there's like a commensurate amount of buzz surrounding the fight that there should be from your perspectives?
Yeah, I think that it's awesome. It's a huge opportunity, and we're the first fight card of the year, and I'm just so excited. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, great strides with the featherweight division for sure, and I'm definitely the most talent stacked featherweight division in the world for sure. And the fact that you're helming it is a great sort of thing, being the multi-time champion and all. But I kind of had a bit of a curious question just because I've noticed that Invicta FC and Bellator have a bit of a working relationship, and obviously not overlooking your opponent here. But do you think there's any chance of a future, maybe like champ versus champ kind of crossover fight with like the Invicta FC? Featherweight titleist, for instance. Do you think, like, with the co-promotion dynamics nowadays, something like that could maybe come to fruition down the line?
I mean, I think anything's possible, and that would be really, really cool. Yeah, I mean, it would be great, but like everything in me has gone into preparing for this fight. So I'm not looking past this fight. I'm just 100% all in this fight. I'm planning on going out there and having the best performance of my career and showing everybody how great I am as an athlete in the sport and the champion in the sport. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, that's such a reporter thing, right? Like always looking for the next thing, right?
Yep.
No, got to keep your eye on the task at hand and everything like that. But I was kind of curious because I was seeing on your social media that WWE wrestler the Hurricane was tweeting out some congratulations after your victory over Olga Rubin. And I also thought I noticed in a Bellator countdown video you had a Rey Mysterio hoodie on. Are you much of a pro wrestling aficionado?
Oh, yeah. Well, I love that jacket from Roots of Fight. I just haven't looked past anything. This is right now while I'm in the sport and while I'm competing in the sport. My number one goal is to be the absolute best and the best mixed martial artist that I could possibly be. But in the future, if that presents itself and I get into professional wrestling or anything like that, maybe. But right now, this is all I want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, manifests itself in like different points in your career, like when you were in your Muay Thai career as well. But I was seeing some interviews with you where it seems like overcoming certain losses and some of the negative emotions that can come with that, like those were very impactful things. Like I was watching a piece where you were talking about how there was a certain level of doubt after the Amanda Nunes loss, where you were heading into a Jermaine Durandamy fight, someone who had defeated you in Muay Thai, but then you ended up overcoming her in MMA. How much did that pay dividends to, just your confidence and galvanizing the mental game, because you've been on a huge streak since?
Yeah, it's been, well, it obviously, when you have the competitive, like the drive and the heart, well, I can only speak on my own part, but I've always, this being the champion and being the very best is always something that has driven me. And so losing, I hate losing. It sucked, but I just knew that I was never going to give up from that position. So, I wanted to get back in there, show what I could do. And even in the Jermaine fight, it was like, I didn't know if I was going to be able to win that fight or not, but I prepared so hard for it, and I was so ready that when I got in there and I, able to get the loss back from the Muay Thai fight and stuff, it gave me a lot of confidence. And I think that all those fights, the wins and the losses, has prepared me and made me into the champion that I am today. So I'm grateful for the losses as well as the wins. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's sort of where I was coming from with the question. It seems like you very much learned from the experiences, and you've been on an enormous streak since then. So clearly learning some lessons from that. But I was also seeing some other athletic endeavors you were involved in there. Like you got to throw at a first pitch a little while ago, a few months ago, kind of thing. What was that experience like?
Oh,
That'd be nerve wracking for me. I feel like I would just like throw it like way off to the side, and it'd be that kind of deal.
yeah, no, it was nerve wracking. It was super nerve wracking. I was like stressed about it, but I used to play hardball, so I was, yeah, I ended up throwing a strike, luckily, but it was definitely a good experience.
So it's kind of like riding a bike again. Like you already had the muscle memory and stuff. There was no rust.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay.
No, that's great, and it seemed like a fun sort of interaction for sure. But usually when I talk to fighters as well, I ask if there's any particular, genres of music they like to train to, or if like there's particular artists they like to listen to get fired up. But obviously also I've talked to some fighters who don't much like to train to music and kind of replicate the conditions of fight night. Where are you at on all of that though?
We train to a lot of reggae, and we've been listening to Burna Boy, Buju Banton.
Oh yeah.
We do. We have a certain vibe at our gym that we kind of train to and listen to, and yeah, that's been what I've been listening to leading up to this fight.
No, that's some great stuff for sure. Definitely some good jams in there. But from what I get a sense that you seem very, legacy minded and very hyper focused on everything you're doing and your present efforts. And I guess to that point, what do you think a victory over Cris Cyborg does for your overall legacy in the sport? Because your resume is quite impressive already.
I think it's big for me. And this is exactly a legacy fight, and I believe that it's important for my career. And we've put everything into this. So training and being at my absolute best has been my sole focus this entire training camp. And I can't wait to go in there and really show who I am and introduce myself to the world and all the people that might not know who I am as an athlete.
Yeah, well, if someone doesn't know you at this point, they should probably do their homework a little bit for sure. But you've been great with your time. Is there anything you'd like to add as a parting thought as we're kind of wrapping up, though?
Pardon me?
I'm just wondering if there's anything you'd like to add as a parting thought as we're wrapping up.
Well, I just want to say thank you to my whole team at Gibson MMA for all the preparation leading up to this, and the sponsors that got behind me, Apollo Sheet Metal, D16 Electrical, Nucor Environmental, and Dominion Lending Services. Thank you guys all for backing me for this fight, and I can't wait to go in there and shine.
Yeah, and anyone who's a fan of the sport can't wait for this either. Cris Cyborg taking on Julia Budd. Bellator MMA Featherweight Championship is up for grabs January 25th at Bellator 238. Really appreciate all the time and insights, Julia. Best of luck with the remaining part of your preparations, and enjoy the rest of your night as well.
much